All right. Text Jason. I sent him the link. Invite sent. I think I did that right. Test. All right. Play test sound. Nice. All right. Let's try and do some pulsing, baby. Invitation posted. All right. So he's gotta wait. The control room. Opening cameraman. And we got some. Oh, nice. Share screens. Things like that. All right. I wonder if I messed something up and didn't do it right. Oh, nice. Hey, how's it going?
Good, man.
I just didn't know if I was doing something wrong or not.
Oh, I didn't realize I wanted to do it on one of my computer monitor screens, but I didn't realize I didn't have a camera in either one of them. So.
Oh, that's right. Okay. All right. Where's this file?
And then I guess let me, because I haven't done it on on my little phone here before. I'm gonna look around and see how I can. Oh, I think there it is. I'm trying to mute my mic. Hang on.
Okay, I think I can also. Oh yeah, there you go. You have the little muted mic button next to your name.
Right. So, all right. So that worked. So, whenever you're ready to go, I'll just mute myself and then I'll just listen in.
All right, that sounds good.
You're doing the tribute speech, or is this the person?
This is the tribute. The tribute one. Yeah. Yeah, I had the flu, and then I was like, even though I was on medicine, I was still like kind of sick for a couple days. Like after that.
Sure.
And then I was like, hey, do you guys want to do the speech? And like a lot of people I know are kind of like germophobic, and so they're like, no. They're like, we don't want you near us. And I'm like, okay. Well, it makes it. It makes sense though.
My sister does has an in-home daycare,
oh, and man, that's crazy.
Anytime her kid gets sick, it usually goes to every single kid, including daycare, and it takes 2 months for it to go through. And I'm like, I'm not coming over to your house. I don't need.
That's right. All right. I think I'm just trying to see, because usually when I read from my outline, it's always like kind of hard to read. So I'm going to try and see if I could like change the view a little bit. That way I don't have to like keep looking down as much.
Yeah.
I just have to get some things going. And then I was going to...
And then make sure you're recording it, right?
Yeah. Well, I did. It recorded it earlier, so I'm really hoping
Good.
that it will record again.
Well, and when John and I did our speech, and we had one or two guys that couldn't make it that Saturday morning to do the procedural speech,
Yeah,
and we
yeah,
had a meeting or whatever, and it ended
yeah.
up being,
Baseball all day long. Oh man, that was the worst.
and we had uh, I had started the hangout, and then I forgot to hit record
Oh.
when when I did my own.
Yeah,
Well, then
yeah.
afterwards, then John said, "All right, are you ready to do mine?" And I said, "Yeah, hang on a second. Wait a minute. Why doesn't it say it's recording already?" And
That's
so,
crazy.
yeah, and so I turned it on for his, and
Yeah.
then what I did after that is I let him get off the line,
Hmm.
and then I went ahead and had to redo the speech another time just for the camera,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that into the professor and told her what happened, and she said, "That's fine. No, stuff
yeah. Yeah,
happens."
she like um I told her how things were like when I got sick, and she was pretty amazing about it. Like, because like I didn't like Thursday I wasn't feeling good. I was like, I was like, I'll get this stuff done, and then like Friday I was like, I feel all right, and then Saturday it was just like we're in. It was kind of warm. It was like 80 degrees, but we were like outside all day, like for baseball, and then Sunday I was done. I was like burnt toast. I had
Yeah.
100 and I had like 103-degree fever, and I was just
Gee.
like, I need to go to the hospital, and I hate going to the hospital, but it was just like it was just bad.
Yeah. Yeesh.
Yeah, it wasn't bueno. All right, let me see one more thing. I have to see if I can do this. If I could change my screen, I think I should hit share. Okay, yeah, so that's okay. Just because we were supposed to have a visual, so I was like, oh, I should just get a picture of Frederick Douglass
Oh, it's pretty
and what,
cool. That's right.
and
You're
what he
doing
looks like.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So I'm gonna move this here. I really need like a third screen because I have two screens at home, but I feel like
Yeah.
I need a third one. All right. Yes, because I need to scroll, but I don't know how to scroll without like if I were to sit down, it'd be fine. I think it'd be fine, but she doesn't want us to sit down.
Yeah. Well, I
All
think
right.
that if you're going to show something and you want it to show up on the video, I would say that just come up to the computer and show it.
Yeah, yeah. I'll
And
have
then,
to come click buttons
yeah,
anyways.
just come do it and then get rid of it. And I mean, it's maybe even click it, let it show for like 10, 20 seconds while you're doing something else, and then come back. While you're saying something
Right.
about it,
Yeah.
and then come back to it. Yeah.
All right. Are you ready?
You ready? Okay. Let me
No, but I'm
mute
gonna
me.
do it.
I'm going to be quiet now.
All right, cool.
Whenever you're ready.
I gotta see how this looks on the thing. For the first time in my life, I'm too tall. All right. And steal away, and steal away, and steal away to Jesus. Well, welcome. My name is Esteban Vasquez, and today I'm going to be doing my tribute speech on Sir Frederick Douglass. Some main points of this speech that I want to go over is that with determination, passion, and hard work, one can change the world no matter how big or small. In this speech, we'll touch briefly on the life and works of Frederick Douglass. He was born in February of 1818 in Easton, Maryland. Douglass' birth name is actually Frederick Augustus Washington Bailey. And it's, I personally find that a little on the funny side because as a person of Puerto Rican descent, if I were to really say my name, it would include like my full name and then my mother's maiden name and then someone else's maiden name. So I'll have like 6 or 7 Spanish names, but that's just a side note. Douglas was born a slave, left by his family. He went to stay with the Auld family in Baltimore. They were the family that owned Frederick Douglass and his family. He was a slave to Sophia and Hugh Auld while in Baltimore. I don't know why Mrs. Auld did this, but she taught Frederick the alphabet. And after a time, her husband told her to stop doing that because it was illegal. Douglass was hungry for knowledge, so he began to learn on his own will. Right now, I'm going to show you a picture of Douglass. Let me share that with you. Oop. And so I'm going to read a little bit, and then I'll come back to my face. During his time as a slave, Douglass experienced and witnessed such terrible conditions that are even just super bad to talk about. This is where I began to see where Douglass' spirit was strong, full of fight to better himself, and where his will was unwavering. In 1838, he escaped from being a slave to Bedford, Massachusetts, and this is where he began his family with his wife, Anna Murray. Douglass was married twice, and he had 5 children. He had 3 sons and 2 daughters. And in Massachusetts is where he began attending abolitionist meetings and anti-slavery conventions. A few years later, Douglass became... Oh, I lost myself. Douglass became a speaker for a society called the Massachusetts Anti-Slavery Society. Working as a speaker, Douglass had to write a lot of speeches, and not too long after, he began a newspaper called the North Star. The North Star was an abolitionist newspaper and spoke on the issues of slavery and obviously just the treatment of slaves. I would assume the paper was named as a reflection of how slaves knew where to travel to escape to the North via the North Star. Apart from his paper, Douglass also wrote 3 autobiographies in his lifetime. Excuse me. Douglass was also a voice for women's rights, along with those kept in slavery. He had attended the first women's rights convention in Seneca Falls, New York. And I put a link in the description. Biography.com says that Frederick Douglass was an eminent human rights leader in the anti-slavery movement and the first African-American citizen to hold a high U.S. government rank. Douglass was also the first African-American to be nominated for vice president and was also an advisor to President Abraham Lincoln. And when I told my son that fact, he's like, Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president. So finally, tax dollars are paying off. Douglass' passion and determination forever changed the world. He helped change American history forever with his work as a speaker and a writer. And I hope that this brief overview of the life of Frederick Douglass brings you hope and encouragement and encourages you to love others beyond yourself so we can change the world one love encounter at a time. So thanks for letting me talk about Frederick Douglass, and that's all I got. Thanks. All right.
Do you have a timer? How long was that?
Oh, I don't know. I hope it was long enough. I was reading, and I was like, I read rather fast. I don't know why I read fast.
It was pretty fast. Well, yeah, it seemed like it was only like 5 minutes, but I don't know.
I also plan to sing more of the song, but I was like, I'll be done. I was like, I'll be done here.
And at the beginning, it's hard if you do too much, and then you end up going too long,
right.
You know?
Yeah, because I think I did it one time, and I was like, I think I sang what I wanted to sing, and it was longer than I wanted it to be, because I just felt like I felt awkward, and I was like, if I feel awkward, I think people will also feel, awkward, like just sitting there.
But I understand that feeling, because I would feel the same way doing it, but then when people are actually listening to you, that's the first time they're hearing it.
Right.
And so
yeah.
To them, it's interesting. To them, it's the first time. So even if you practice it many times,
Yeah.
I felt like that my last 2 speeches because I practiced both of them like 20, 30 times. And I got so, almost like sick of it. It's like, ugh,
Yeah.
he's going to want to hear all this,
Right.
I already heard it so many times myself. I was sick of it.
I'm tired of this.
Yeah, but and then how many things did you cite? Did you cite two?
I cited two, yeah, and then
Okay.
like in the thing itself, like I cited well in because I essentially like wrote I like essentially just write my speeches like
Yeah.
verbatim
Just,
besides that Spanish comment and the thing about Noah.
yeah.
But I think I know I cited
The biography.
biography.com
Yeah.
and then like in the text there's like links, so like he was advisor to President Abraham Lincoln, and you could find that at www.fdfi.org/fd. You know, so things like that were in the text, but I didn't. I guess I could have.
Oh, well, yeah, and I would say go ahead and do that because the thing is like for me, I'd want to maybe hear that and go, oh, I'm going to write that down.
Right.
And
Yeah. That makes
least,
sense.
yeah, and at least if I can write down part of that website, I can probably
Yeah.
find it, you know. But
right. That's really good. Yeah, I'm going to write that down for my next speech then.
Yeah.
So like.
I thought about that too, and I thought, well, I do all the research and I spent all these hours doing all the work. I don't need that information, but the people watching the speech might be interested and they might want to check it out more later, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's really good. Huh.
So I did a terrible job of citing my sources. I had I think 2 or 3 sources that I cited for my tribute speech, and then 4 or 5 that I cited for my persuasive speech.
Yeah.
But I was trying to be really like, you know, creative with how I cited them. So like some of them I was trying to cite like mid-reference, some I was trying to cite like afterward and then before. The problem is because I had wording written out that was sounded kind of, you know, it worked with my speech if I actually read my speech. But when I'm actually doing the speech, I'm kind of trying to do it without reading it.
Right. And yeah, because you're like so focused on eye contact.
Well, yeah, not only that, but you're also trying really hard not to use your notes if you don't have to. Right. But when you get too tricky with your citations, then I was trying to get them out, and I couldn't even remember how I wanted to say it. Huh. And then it sounds even worse.
Right.
It'd have been better just to say like each time, just to say, and then I found whatever.
Yeah.
Every time at the beginning, and that would have been it would have sounded a lot smoother, even though every time I cited something, it would have sounded exactly the same and kind of booking.
Yeah.
I try to get too creative sometimes, you know?
Yeah, I definitely understand.
All
right, man. Well, I appreciate you and being able to do this for me.
Yeah, no problem. Just and then you're going to get on there and post it on the page so that I'll do a review of it for you too.
Okay, cool.
So not that I didn't already just talk about it with you.
Right. I was like, hey, give me a live review. This is good.
All right, brother. Have a good day.
Yep, you too. Thanks.
Take care. Bye. Yep, see ya.